Today is the 15th of May. Now we are starting tests with a new modification of our device Apivox Auditor Release 2. We will carry out our tests on 3 of our experimental families, which are now working on honey collection from the gardens. Dandelions and gardens are blooming, and the willow blossom perfectly during all early spring. The development of families is excellent. We believe that swarming mood in the families is already possible. On this topic, we will begin our research. Control of brood, and the presence of swarming state. These are the main parameters for today which we plan to test. The bees fly well, carry pollen and nectar. Now we will install our instruments and will start our control. We set our microphone deeper, in order to hear arriving from the field bees, as less as possible. First of all, we need to see a good signal in monitoring mode. Control shows a small excitement in the family and work with low intensity. Basically, this is an hive works in honey processing in order to feed the family. Gardens now give only a weak honey harvest, which can only support the development of families, so the strength of work is corresponding. Monitoring using swarming control mode shows a borderline condition. Now families are working well enough, so it is difficult for swarming signal to break through the signals of working state. Nevertheless, the situation in the family is close to the borderline between working state and swarming state, and we should have a look at what happens inside the hive. Here is our hive number 8. Here the test showed the following picture. Reduced activity of the family, a lot of young bees without work. Mild exultation, swarming state possible. Well, it is necessary to check this beehive. Let's look at this family with the help of swarming control mode. We take a photo, reset, go to the desired mode. It is better to make control closer to the middle of the day, but the summer morning is also not so bad. The arrow needs about 10 seconds to establish its position. Swarming control mode also shows the borderline state, although with certain fluctuations. Maybe swarming state is not so strong. Despite the fact that everything is blooming, the work is not particularly strong. It is not much nectar now. The main honey collection will come only in June, and it is quite right that the device shows a low intensity of the work in the families. In the afternoon it increases, of course, but not to the maximum values. Let's see what the test will show us in the swarming control mode. The arrows are not stabilized yet in the working positions. The family's condition is also borderline. Although previously we saw that the family had working state, the family should be examined. So, now we'll look inside the hives to confirm or deny our diagnosis, made with Apivox Auditor. Beehive number 1. Here we immediately see a lot of drone brood. In honeycomb we see eggs and larvae. This is brood frame. Here is also brood cells. Okay. Here we can see what we were looking for. Swarming queen cups. So it's not for nothing our device showed the borderline state, and sometimes directly the swarming state. We see the first swarming queen cup. It is still empty. So, the family number 8. This family gave us a very strong warning about the swarming condition. Here we see 7 frames of brood, including many cells with larvae and eggs. And this explains the strong signal obtained using brood control mode, and this explains why the family is not ready for commodity honey harvest. All honey brought to the hive will be used to the brood feeding. Most of the bees take care of the brood. The family is in the process of growing its strain. And here is the reason why we saw pre-swarming diagnostics. Here we can see the next swarming queen cups. Now, they are on the frames, situated far from the center of the nest, but this is already the beginning. Beekeeper have enough time to take measures, but the reasons for passivity and for appearance of warning about swarming state are now clear to us. Queen cups are still empty, but the family is preparing for swarming. Family number 2. Bees are not very happy to see us. The state is clearly excited. The second body box we settled a week ago. What will we see there? Swarming queen cups in the center of the nest. And a lot of young drone brood. The diagnosis of possible swarming state in this family is now clear to us. You can always buy our device at our webpage www.apivoxauditor.com.